Okay. Good morning. Well, I did something last night that I haven't done in a very long time. I stayed up way too late. Way too late into the wee early mornings. And, oh, I am so groggy. I remember those days when I'd stay up late dancing and partying with my friends when I was young. But seldom did I not also feel hungover. Oh God, glad those days are gone. Sobriety has been such a blessing in so many ways. To think that we need a certain person, place, or thing to survive is so sad. So sad. Okay, I feel better now. Let's see if I have this set up right. Okay. I have that notice on my screen. I don't know why. Maybe if I just push it down. Why is it on? Oh, maybe it's for everybody. I don't know. Huh. What's that do? Oh, when I was trying to figure out what all those little buttons were, I tapped the microphone. They have, when you do a live, thank you. When you do a live, there's a couple buttons on the side. One, it looks like you can reverse the camera maybe. One is a filter, one's a mic, and one's a something you can clip your video at a certain point to cut it off. Yeah. Oh, you would not believe. I stayed up last night. So embarrassed. I went down the rabbit hole with the Princess Catherine of Wales saga. Wow, what a story. I don't know what's going on there, but we have so much drama going on now in the world. Oh, good God. Anyway, it was fun until about, oh, I'm putting on lots of this because it's a moisturizer. Or it feels moisturizing. Oh, so it may look like a mess right now, but it'll absorb. I think it's like anything. You either have the personality for it or you don't. And I don't have a big personality for gossip. I mean, I don't really, I'll gossip about myself. So, Chrissy, any gossip? What's been going on? I wish I knew how to add you, Chrissy, like in another part of the screen. We need to research that. We talked about that a while back. I woke up so groggy this morning, I didn't even do my morning reading. I thought, oh my God, I can't believe it's almost 10:30. Well, I usually read it on my phone in bed before I even get up. So let me go get something positive to read. I'll be right back. I have this book set aside so that I can decide if I want to keep it or not. And I've been meaning to take a look at it. Hey, good morning, Denise. Oh, Claudia's cat. Oh. You know, that's sad. I'm so sorry. That's so sad to hear. You know how I fell apart when Lucky passed away. And heck, when Gordy passed away, you didn't get to meet him. But when he passed away, I was so distraught. Even after I quit, crying and everything about it, I didn't get a dog for 7 years. And I am a much better person with a dog. So that's why I didn't wait long this time. No, I must have a dog, even if it's the wrong dog. Because, I try to be very careful. You made chili and you're taking it over to them later. Oh, you know what? My personal experience is I always feel better when you pamper me with food. You're the best pamperer. Honest to goodness. I wish we didn't live so far away from each other because, it's just so nice that when you have somebody who knows you enough. I like being tucked in the sofa, watch movies or chit chat, bitch and moan and groan about what's going on, and be served food in a very sweet way. Oh, it's so nice. He was 15 years old. Oh, well, and I can tell you this is a shirt I was going to throw away as well, and decided I like everything about it except the collar. So here's what I'm going to do. You've seen me do this to shirts before. I'm tired of it. So, woohoo. Ah, there we go. I'm not going to stitch it down or anything. It just feels better. Okay, let's read something positive. Oh, man. see. I have not opened this book for years. Meditation for Personal Growth. It came from Hazelden. Not only am I in recovery, but I worked at Hazelden Recovery for, well, I did one of my master's degrees there in addictions behavior, or addictions behavioral science. And that was a 1 year consolidated, so I practically lived there. And then I worked there for, gosh, Chrissy, what did I tell you? A year and a half, maybe 2 at the most. I didn't like working there. Hi, Patricia. The preacher speaking. Love you too, sweetheart. I'm glad to have you. That's for sure. I'm so glad to have Denise too, along with Christine, of course. Yeah, Christine always gives me food for thought. Okay, so it's called Journey Through Womanhood, Meditations from Our Collective Soul, from T.N. Dayton, PhD. I think this was, I'm not sure, but this could have been, I did read the foreword. I have a couple things underlined. I'm pretty sure this was her thesis book. So it's kind of interesting. Frankie. So she wrote some like quotes from different people, some different historical things, and added how they affected women. I remember thinking it was pretty cool, but not cool enough for me to continue through it, because once I gave myself permission to write in my books, even if I don't write anything great in it, I will put a little line where I most recently stopped writing. Because it's my book. If I'm going to give it away, I'm not going to make $1 less or more if there's notes in it, unless it's ridiculous. And I'm usually not going to sell my books. I'm going to give them away. So what I can do, just because I'm curious, let's go through, just for funsies, and I'll just read some things that I underlined. I do that sometimes. I haven't done that in ages. Do we have to, okay, I didn't underline this part, but I'm leading up to the part I did underline. Do we have to become like men to succeed in man's world, or do we just stretch our hearts, hands, and days to include more? I know what that feels like. I should have underlined that. If we increase our lifespans by 30 or so years due to advanced technology, can we now afford the luxury of having it all, as long as we don't have to have it all in the same decade? Ooh, you know, that's pretty wise question for 2002, Miss Tyann Dayton. Research, here's what I underlined for some reason. Research over the past 3 decades, spearheaded by the Stone Center of Boston, has revealed that women develop and self-define not according to the John Wayne Lone Star model of tough autonomy, but in a relational, connected way. We women have our own special way of operating, our unique take on the world, our own modus operandi. We value relationships highly, not necessarily at the expense of self, but in recognition that sustaining and nurturing relationships become part of our inner and outer lives. I'm going to stop there for a minute and start putting some makeup on, just in case I get rudely interrupted by the outside world. You know, that's true. And that's kind of why, well, it is why I started the channel and why I don't advertise it, why I don't talk about it outside of our little world. It's why I don't do certain things to raise my SEO rhythm, is because I want whoever accidentally finds us or intentionally finds us to be part of a tribe of reciprocity. You know, we're supporting each other, we're learning from each other, or anyway, I'm trying to help you, and you don't, I hope you understand that any response I get helps me. I mean, a lot of the times, um, I don't even have to always make sense. I just want to chit chat. And women need that. Yeah, that's true too. Define it all. Well, for me, because when I was growing up, yes, there was physical abuse, but there was also that emotional, mental abuse where not only was I ugly, but I was stupid. And so I was just, it was such a hard way for my body and mind to operate about that. Because instead of going, oh, my mom thinks I'm stupid, I'm so sad, in my gut was saying, don't listen, you're not stupid. I had a knowing I wasn't stupid, right? So I was really set out to prove I wasn't stupid. Um, Partly by being rebellious for a long time. Uh, I'll show them. I'll do what I want, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I didn't say that then, but that's probably what was kind of going on in my soul. So that's why I started on this education thing. It was like the more classes I could take, the more I could learn. And I mean, I really absorbed. I I was hungry for knowledge. If I got a book for a class, I started by reading the very first page between that cover. I was obsessed with it. Maybe it's a personality flaw too, or glitch, that I just want to learn everything as much as possible. There's very little I don't want to know about. That's the truth. Oh, I'm going to turn on the solar light so I can put on some makeup. I have been working in the yard for 2 days and lifting bags of leaves, and I am stiff. Oh, get up. So having it all to me was also then, as I'm working through that, it was also, now of course this wasn't before I got sober, but then it was about making money. It was about making money. I needed to make some money. So it was about proving how smart I was. Now, understand, this isn't what I was thinking at the time. I think sometimes we know what we're doing when we're that smart, but I wasn't smart enough to understand that I could have made a plan and executed it. But I executed my plan with veracity, vengeance. I just had to do it all within a short amount of time to catch up with what all I thought were bad decisions. You know, all those years that I was just out partying and living it up and having adventures and healing from tripping over my own hang-ups. Okay. So, yeah. Matter of fact, I've only really started slowing down this last year because I want to get this house paid off because I made so many financial mistakes. So many financial mistakes. You know, sometimes we go through so many heartaches that we don't have time. Some of us, now I'm speaking for myself, so much recuperation from all of the puddles of crap I've stepped in that between surviving, recuperating at the same time, and then going forward and trying to just take care of life and finances. How muddy are you? Come on. How muddy are you? Let's jump. Jump. Frankie. All right. Get my chair all muddy. Come on. Jump. Say hi. Hi. Hi, baby. Oh, my baby. I can't put on makeup with you there. Oh, thing about Claudia without her baby. Oh, my God. My heart goes out to her. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, when we want it all, I think I've slowly worked this last year at recognizing when enough's enough, you know? What's that saying? Did the video I made you work on YouTube? I do believe it did. I can't believe that. That it even didn't register a red flag. I haven't gotten a message about it. Did you see it? Tell me if you saw it. Tell me if you, Christine, tell me if you were able to see it. Okay, get off here, close it out, and go in and see if you can pull it up. Actually, I could probably do that. I could probably close out and come back in. Because I've watched it over and over and over again. I thought I just uploaded it just fine when I said I did. But I don't go back and watch any of my videos. Okay, go look. Yay! Yeah, I was so afraid I waited almost a full year to upload Chrissy's video. Okay, gotta put some makeup on. Frankie, come on, jump. What's the matter, baby? Huh? You know Mama loves you. Mama loves her boy. He's being awful sweet this morning. Means he probably got into something. Little booger head. Okay. All right. I love this lipstick. I probably won't ever buy I probably won't ever buy another lipstick. Unless they come out with this color with less sheen. I would like I can say that this is shiny and it's a sheen, but you cannot see the sparkles in it like you can in this. Okay, what is it? This is number 445 on the Mauve. It's been my favorite for eons. Color sensational, and it is. I don't know. Maybelline. This is from Palladio, and it's called Amethyst, and it was my favorite for a long time. But it has so many sparkles. It's so shiny. I mean, it has a lot of, if when I wear it on my lips, it's just, the sparkle's too big. I'll go back to the book here in a minute. But yeah, we all need each other. And in my opinion, when you talk about having it all, I have clients who come to me and they'll have several children, a full-time job, a husband who actually is in love with them, parents on both sides still intact. They have friends and family who actually attend their barbecues. Well, the problem is, if you take a day planner and you list it out and it goes in 15-minute increments or even half-hour increments, and you also put in there time for doctor's appointments, groceries, putting away your groceries, unless you have a housekeeper or a nanny or both and a driver, how are you going to take care of all of those selections, right, with a full-time job? There are some people who do it fairly well, but there are some people who do it in a way that's obviously... Did you go back and look, Christine? Anyway, most of the time when women come to me like that, they want it all. They want all of this personal life stuff, all the social life stuff, all the travel, and a full-time job that they're concerned about, and they're maybe even growing in the companies. So you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to have all of that? I know for a fact, excuse me, that when I first got sober, I wanted to work all the time, build my reputation, volunteer for several different organizations, Lions Club and hospice, and anything else I could volunteer my time for, like helping others in AA, because they have the 12th step that says, yeah, you know, basically that's kind of one of the gifts of being sober, is helping others. Plus, it helps you stay sober, because when you work with other people who are first coming in, it reminds you of why you came in. So I was busy all the time and expected my husband to not cheat on me. Expected me to not get tired, wore out, and get the flu 2 times in a row every spring and winter. Spring and fall, when the weather was best, that's when I would get the sickest. Oh, it's hard having the flu when it's hot and humid and you want to be out in the yard working. That's actually how I found out that yard work brings me closer to God. Yay! It's pretty neat. I watched it like 3 times before I uploaded it again. I just love it. It was so thoughtful, so sweet. But that's just the kind of gal you all are. It's true. Anyway. Oh, I am so caught up on laundry. Dang. Washed a lot of stuff I don't usually wash. So I took some extra attention. Probably did 10 loads of laundry altogether, besides the usual stuff. The weather's been so cool and breezy the last couple days. It made it possible to go out there and work and not even sweat. I got in the shower, did my nasal irrigation, and what else did I do? I cut my hair, layered it, and shortened it. So we'll see how it looks next time I wet it down. I have no idea. And I trimmed it a couple weeks ago, and I just could not get used to it. So I thought, well, you know what? I haven't layered it in a while. I'm going to put a few little layers in it. And Chrissy Poo, you know how hard we are to please with our haircuts. That's why I don't go to anyone else but me anymore. There's no reason to put anyone through what I put them through. And nobody wants to hear that they're doing a hairdresser's hair. Nobody. It makes them nervous. It's like cooking for a chef. Oh, chefs and all their... I've been watching Gordon. Dang it. There goes my memory again. Oh, did you trim yours too? You get it. Who's that famous cook? Gordon something. I can't get on my phone and Google it real quick because I'm on here with you. But anyway, he's got several shows out there, and I am addicted to them right now. Keeps me out of, sometimes you just want to watch TV. You don't want to think too hard. You don't want to read. You don't want to research anymore. You don't want to think about yourself. You just want to relax, maybe have a giggle or get excited about something. So there are certain shows that are innocent. They're not all blood and guts. And it gives me little ideas for cooking if I should ever want to try that. I'm not much of a cook. If I died from anything, it'd be a heart attack because of all the microwaved and fatty food I eat. There was a time for many years I ate pretty well at home. I didn't have any crap in my house. I didn't have much food in my house because I was too busy working and everything to go shopping. Denise. Oh, Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's the money guy. That guy's something, isn't he? I love that guy. He helped me get smarter. He's why I do not own a new car and I don't own a new build. Why I don't own a bigger home. Why I don't have there was something else that watching his videos a couple years ago reminded me not to invest in, and I can't remember what it was. Gosh, I can't remember what it was, but I had one, maybe it was having a second home, because I thought I would love to have an apartment back in Galesburg, or, just a little condo, just so I could run away from home and go there, go back home. And then if it ever felt right, I would just go back home. But, oh gosh, what was that chef's name? But, if you're not really gonna sell your home and go buy something different, don't bother. Frankie, quit. I'll take you out in a minute. Hold on, not a minute, but when I feel like it. What else did I write in here? I'm just so interested. Oh, Gordon. Good guess, Denise. He's a famous chef, and he has like 2 or 3 shows on right now that are new, and he's been on TV forever. I've been to 1 or 2 of his restaurants in Vegas. He's got several in other cities. I can't think of it. I'm sorry. Chef Gordon Ramsay? His last name isn't Ramsay, is it? Okay. Oh, and the other one's Dave Ramsey. Ah, you got me. Thank you. It took teamwork. Thank you, Christine and Denise. You were right. Denise, you win. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Thank you for Googling Hell's Kitchen. I know. I love that show. I really do. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Hey, did you see Gordon Ramsay and his chef buddies that he's really close to? How they, I think they were touring Ireland? Was that it? In their little van? Their little camper van? Oh my God, that show was great. It was 3 episodes. I loved watching them. I love watching that particular 3 episode program because it really highlighted male bonding, right? Male bonding. And just like I like watching women bond around a campfire. There's so many programs on TV where they make women just look stupid, right? And they make men look stupid. So when you get something that is a little more realistic, I mean, yeah, programming is going to be entertaining. I'm sure those 3 episodes didn't show real fights or, deeper conversations. I'm sure all that was edited out. But it was so fun to see their genuine friendship. I like that. And to me, it seemed fairly real. If you if you haven't seen it, try to make a chance to do that because I really enjoyed it. I get on my clients very often about getting off of TV or social media. Ooh, excuse me, by cutting out certain programming. I work with a lot of people of color, and some of the shows that are on out there, like the Love of Hip Hop, Love and Hip Hop in Detroit, Love and Hip Hop in Atlanta, in DC, and in Huntsville, Love and Marriage in Huntsville, Love and Marriage in Love. There's no love and very little marriage. I call it lust and affairs. And the way they talk to each other, the way they treat each other, the way they dress, on social media, not just those programmings. I'm not just putting down black programming. I'm saying that shows like that, very anxiety provoking. I'm just saying. Yeah. So I try to steer them towards things that are more human, more actually relatable. And if they can still relate to that kind of dramatic behavior, I wish I could. I'm not on TV enough. The programming that I like is sort of at like Golden Girls, things like that, are right tucked in between programs that aren't so so great. What was that show I was watching? I like to give each show a couple tries. Um, Shows like I can't even remember. All I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, the bottom line is, what are you putting into your head? What's the message? And I hear words and I see images. Those are my two ways of learning about people. I'm not good at nuances. I've never been good with a lot of flattery because I was given false flattery when I was little, which was unbelievable because why would you say this and then do that? You know, it didn't add up. So if I see someone, it's kind of like a hypervigilance technique. If I look at a person and they look a certain way from top to bottom, I can fairly often successfully gauge what kind of interaction I'm going to have with them. I don't have ESP or anything, but it's not hard to tell. I'm just saying. Feed yourself. Oh, Chrissy, you can tell on me too, she is a music aficionado. Don't know if I said that right. However, she knows her music. And I enjoy the golden oldies most of the time. The only time I like new music is when something new comes out in country. Oh, sorry. In country western music or country certified music. I love that kind of stuff. I'm more of a pop music. I want it to make me dance, or I want it to be a symphony where I can get lost in it. I don't like things that are too deep anymore. I don't want to hear about how you broke my heart. And this girl, Christine's, she sends me some beautiful music. If I could just take the words out, because the words are just tear jerkers to me. Oh, about love. What will I do now? But I would have absolutely no knowledge of these bands if she were teaching me something. She's at the most beautiful concert venue on the planet. Red Rocks concert. Nothing like it. I want to be there. All right, back to me. What else did I write in here? So much role definition and redefinition stretches across these powerful decades. And such mythical meanings and importance that women's roles can really only be captured by archetypes. And the archetypes form complicated, interwoven patterns. The virgin has to become the huntress and go after her life in the world. The warrior is also the mother who fights for her right to care for her children in a society that grossly undervalues the critical importance of motherhood. Oh, yeah, that's where I was going with some of my clients. Yeah. We are the huntress as we seed our children a bit at a time into society at large. The martyr when we sacrifice our needs for theirs, and the wise woman in the way that we live our lives, raise our children, conduct our marriages, and shape our careers. Yeah, I left a lot behind because I wanted to be successful much more than I wanted a marriage or children. A lot of this stuff is things that I underlined so I could research some more. Like Jean Shinoda Bolin, MD, Christine Northrup. Those are two. Each day has its own developmental task. The virgin's task is to develop a sense of selfhood so that the huntress, in touch with her gifts, strengths, and weaknesses, can go find her feet in the world, her passions, and her own ground. The warrior summons the strength and courage to meet the challenges and fight the battles that are a part of any woman's life. She confronts her own dark side and gains power and wisdom from self-mastery. The lover exposes her heart, her need for partnership, and calls out to the infinite to provide her with her soulmate. The wife tends to the hearth. The mother brings forth life. Then the martyr releases this life into the world and returns to her empty nest to shed her tears and to find new ways to fill her soul. Here is where the wise woman must take over. Yes. So, I think it's important to know where we are in our life journey. Do we go ahead and release our children into the world to find their own way? Go ahead and find our own true fulfillment. I cannot imagine, well, I refuse to. I don't want to. I don't want to imagine being locked in an apartment with no yard, or even if it had a courtyard, but I couldn't dig in the dirt. I couldn't have my own potted plants. Not good sun coming in, just watching TV all day long, being unhealthy. And on top of it all, living in a city where I couldn't go for walks and feel safe. Vanessa! Hey! Deep thoughts. Hanging out here. We've been, it's been fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm entertaining the hell out of myself with the help of Chrissy, and Denise. We've been having fun. And Patricia was out there too. Hi, Patricia. I don't know if she's still here. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, she calls me a preacher. I don't know. I guess I am kind of sometimes. Anyway, just talking about putting our mindset somewhere where it's more conducive to our spiritual journey instead of watching TV that brings out the worst in anybody, creates a lot of internal anxiety. And then the whole, that when I listen to music that has sad words, that's the kind of image I go to, is that dark apartment with no way out, really. It's like a soft prison. It's like, I just wouldn't be able to live that way. Now, some people can live that way, and they don't see it as dark and dreary as I do. They see it as a place where they're safe, they don't have any maintenance, they don't have any worries, they can just come and go as they please, but they know the schedule when the more dangers are out than others, or they go on out in the world and say, you know what, screw it. If something bad happens, you know what? Maybe it's my turn. I don't know. But they're brave and they go do what they need to do in that kind of environment. So when I figure out, as I grow older and figure out, here's the book we're looking at, Vanessa. I really like it. I probably won't give it away. I'll probably read it. I just dug it out. I've gotten rid of almost all my books, Chrissy. You would not believe it. I have thinned out, donated, over and over again. I have 1.5 bookshelves left. That's it. Not the wall bookshelf either. I'm talking about a normal bookshelf with 6 shelves in it. And then I have stacks, a few stacks here and there that would fill in a couple more shelves. So that's a kind of a big deal for me when I'm used to having wall-to-wall books. And Chrissy knows because she packed those mothers. I left a lot behind when I sold my business. I left a lot of those books behind, but I took a bunch of them. Yes, I did. Oh my God, I love my books. But living in a smaller home, I don't want it to feel like a prison with everything locked in, and the book bindings are dark. You know, I want things clean, easy to clean, especially with dogs. I have to have dogs. Oh, I don't know how to pin the name of a book. How do you pin something? Let me push some buttons. Tap. Okay, I will add the title to this book. Oh, unless you can teach me how to pin. I can't type in any answers right now. When the video's done, if nobody wants me to delete it, I will put in a message of what the title of this book is. Yes, that's what I'll do. I've seen pinned messages in other people's programs or videos before. Okay, thank you. I had to talk myself through it. You're not here in person, so I have to play both people. So yeah, I think the important part is what can you find that's comfortable. I remember going to, was it the home store? You know how sometimes they'll set up a little living room area? Oh, okay, sure. I don't mind. Can you, I'm sorry about the glare. I'm trying to post it so it doesn't have the glare. Now, this is a book from 2002. So the cover may look different. But I'll if I remember, I'll pin it as well. It's no biggie. Yeah. Thank you. You're awesome. Dang. You're awesome. Yeah, I must have got, oh, I know. 2002. I buy a lot of used books. And Vanessa, that was really sweet of you. Thank you. That was very thoughtful. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Sometimes I pick up a book, even if it's good, and I'll put it back down because I get involved with something else, whether it's school or a man or work, and then I'll go to something like these has short paragraphs, or not paragraphs, chapters, or you wouldn't even call them chapters. You would just, they're like, some of them are only a paragraph, but some are 3 or 4 pages long, I think. No, each one is about a page long. But I had to get through the introduction. I don't know why I put it down, so I'm gonna quit talking about it. But I'm glad I didn't get rid of it because it talks a lot about. Okay, so I talked about then the martyr releases life into the world, and which means their children or business or retires, things like that, for the most part, and returns to her empty nest to shed her tears and find new ways to fill her soul. I'm still in the introduction, Vanessa. Page 15. Here is where the wise woman must take over because the tasks at this age are spiritual ones. We must find a deeper source of meaning by going within and by transcending the temporal life that surrounds her. I have a body, but I am not only that body. I have a mind, but I am not only that mind. I am something infinite and beyond. I will shed the body one day, for it is only a container. I am not the bulb, but the light that shines through it. And that light will never go out because it is spiritual in nature as I am. That's, you know what? That's the bottom line. House or no house, spouse or no spouse, kids or no kids, pets or no pets, money or no money, car or no car, house or no house. Who are we? Yeah, I'll throw a temper tantrum for a day or two, but then, or longer. But then who do I settle in to be? Who do I allow myself to be even when I'm at my worst? How do I let not just my brain operate, but my facial expressions, my mouth? You know, a lot of people talk about do volunteer work, help others. You know, now that you're retired, get out there and do this and that. Okay, but if you get out there in the world or with your own family and you're being destructive, I'm not saying all of us can't sometimes be a little destructive, but if it's every time we interact with certain people, we have targeted them as being easy prey. Excuse me. And I think that's why I have worked on myself so hard, and I continue because I'm not trying to go for perfect. I'm not going for the goody two-shoe thing. I'm going for that spiritual light. I want to experience as much light, my light, as possible instead of sucking someone else's light to make me feel better. Ah, that's the secret. Am I experiencing my own light versus am I trying to live off of someone else's light that they'll give me or that I have the guts to take away from them or woo from them? Woo. You want to go outside, don't you? So yeah, life can be pretty interesting. Depends on where you want to go with it. I'm not judge and jury because I'm telling you, time can be so short, gone so fast. You know, we got to do what we got to do sometimes. I don't blame anybody for being how they are. I know how I was, and I know how I still am sometimes. So I really do continue that journey. But I can tell you this, knowing that we're all going to die is really important. We know we're going to die. What kind of death do we want to have? Yeah. Okay, enough of that. So anybody have any anything they want to share on how people have been handling the stress of the world, the stress of politics? Because we can pray it away, or we can make fun of them and make them just stop. And then we had this other program of oh, Princess Catherine of Wales, that whole heartbreaking thing. Now, I don't want to say anything about her in particular right now. I don't know what the heck's going on, so I'm staying out of that. But it did make me think about this. Time with the Lord picks me up, and listen to The Champion by Carrie Underwood. Oh, helps me get up and overcome, plus become better. Working out, take a walk, clean, organized. Vanessa, yes, absolutely. Amen. Yes, we have a lot in common. Thank you for adding that. That's awesome. I love that. Here's what I was thinking is when we disappear, when we have been somebody's stable, reliable, consistent presence, when you just disappear, it's noticeable. How do I know? Because I have done that to many people many times in my life before I got sober. I would see them again and treat them like old friends, and they're like, what? Man, you disappeared. What? No hello, no nothing. And they get over it eventually, but they don't forget you abandoned them. You left. Okay, so whether you're a rock star, a sports star, in politics, you matter. And you're getting paid, basically, by the people. That means, in my opinion, you owe the people a certain amount of grace and interaction so they know you haven't abandoned them. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. You have to show up. That's what you do for your people. And in my world, my personal world, maybe because I haven't had children, I know that I've had cancer scares. I show up. I can't imagine not showing up. I've been through horrible relationships, and I show up. I know I'm pushing a button or two maybe, but I'm going to say this too. When you convince someone or a population that you are their leader, for example, it's not just queen and king. They're usually divinely appointed by the gods, which then is inherited because of your bloodline. You must be the next leader, right? And it's not just queen, it's queen mother, right? So in my mind, then it's king father, Lord God, Father, King, right? And so prince and princess would be brother, sister, togetherness, united. So when you just disappear, humans are going to talk. I feel like, oh, what's that girl's name? She's so popular right now with concerts all over the place. And I've heard her name so often. Yeah, I may be having a memory issue. But I do think, I can hear the song in my head. Haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate, 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 hate. Yeah, because humans get scared. Taylor Swift. Thank you, dear. Ta-da! It's a tie. Yes, that's it. Humans are humans. They're gonna panic if you leave. My God, Christine, can you imagine what I would go through if you just went off the radar? Are you kidding me? We have a friend, Anna, who used to show up here pretty consistency on the in the comments section. And I think she even showed up during the other live that I did. Right? Pinch poke, you owe me a Coke. Ooh, a Coke sounds good right now. You know, people get concerned. It's like, I would love to get a hi from Anna. And Rainy and BX Gal. Because, you know, they're not around often enough. So when they're around, it's awesome. But if enough time goes by, it's like, oh, did something happen? That's human. So, yeah, we were off the radar for years. And it was horrible. It was horrible. Remember Cindy? Cindy Pope? We were in different crowds there for a while, but she and I lost track of each other for years too. And you know, you get to a point where you think the other person's dead or living out in the country somewhere digging potatoes. I don't know. But it's terrible and it leaves a lonely place. But yeah, I don't blame people for making up stories. When somebody just disappears or when somebody behaves badly, it's very sad. Not that anybody behaved badly. I'm just saying, I'm not saying anything about anybody. I'm just saying, philosophically speaking, you don't just walk out of somebody's life and pretend like it doesn't matter. Not when you're a mature, loving adult. And I think that's the goal, is to be a mature, loving adult, with or without anything else in our life. You know, we have to look at what we value. We have to look at why we're behaving a certain way and then make a correction if we can. If you can't make a connection, then, or correction, then kind of look at why. Why can't you make a correction? I know, it's hard, it's too hard, it's too hard. No, it's not too hard. It's hard. I just don't want to face the public. It's too hard. If you're my sister and you disappear for 3 months without saying hello to me, I'm going to know you're mad or dead or kidnapped or something horrible. I'm a human being with irrational thoughts and I'm very emotional. So I don't care if you're a hot mess, you better say something. That's it. I think not enough credit is given for just showing up. You don't have to be perfect. Just show up. Yeah. You know what? I've been on here for a long time. And I probably have just a few minutes before I have have to get off of here because it'll be noon and the house is probably going to start moving around. So if I have to get off of here suddenly, it's about that time. And I apologize up front. But if anybody has any questions, now would be a good time to ask them. I am here. Actually, I think it would be fun to read this. Until I get bored with it. Oh, hey Vanessa, if you get this book, go ahead and get a used one, because they're so much more affordable than buying a new one. And then maybe you won't feel so guilty about writing in books. It's awesome. What link? Does that link work? What am I thinking of? What link? I always buy used if I can. Oh, good. Anyway, me too. I love it. Underline things that are important to you. But I'm gonna keep reading it just a page a day. Because it's a great reminder, even if you know all this stuff. And it's, another great reason to keep Christine around. Is sometimes it's not that we don't know stuff. We just need to be reminded, especially by someone who knows us. Like someone who knows how hard to push us as well. Look at my hair. It is a mess. Well, I combed it trying to get hair 196 just right. Okay, so like on here it says, still on page introduction, Roman numeral 15, hormones that foster caretaking behaviors are shifting or being rerouted to parts of the brain associated with resolving early painful memories and unfinished business, while at the same time stimulating the pituitary gland, the God spot of the brain, the seat of wisdom, or the third eye, as it is sometimes called. This means that a task at this age seems to be to solve our past and become more spiritual. And I absolutely believe that. I wish I had correct. Oh, and here's another author I underlined. Magnificent. And this really goes with a lot of the thinking that I have as far as king, queen, prince, princess, victim, prostitute, warrior. According to Robert Johnson, in his book Transformation in the First Stage, all is clear and simple. Our roles are defined, and happiness and satisfaction can be derived from playing them well. In the second stage, after the questioning has begun, all is in flux, examined, reevaluated, and torn apart. We feel insecure as if the center isn't holding. This is a vulnerable time. Nothing is as it was, but where we're going isn't clear either. Excuse me. It can be exciting, challenging, scary, or all the above. If we can get through this period of uncertainty, all can become simple again. Finally, in the third stage, we find ourselves reintegrating into what feels whole again. Yeah. Original King Alpha. Good morning. How are you? So we're talking about the phases of life. And I've been reading some little ditties out of this beautiful book. My friend Vanessa penned it for me. Here's something that I like too. I underline this. playing our roles well, but also in understanding their deeper meaning in our lives. I'm not sure why I underlined that one, but this one looks interesting. While before we were simply not conscious of what other possibilities there were, now we are aware of them. And the only path is to explore and to experiment, to expand and reintegrate the whole of our vision, or to suffer the shadow, the hidden or suppressed part of us, asserting itself, creating pressure from within. These past decades have surely been a time of expansion and experimentation. Yeah. So I think it's really important that we used to have some old people in the neighborhood that I lived. Excuse me, sorry. In my hometown, we had an old couple down at the dead end of our street, and they had a big garden of flowers and vegetables, and they shared them with the neighborhood. If someone said someone had a baby, or someone was feeling down or passed away or whatever, they made sure that a couple of the kids had flowers to take to that person. We sat around in their yard on their picnic table under a big, huge weeping willow tree and ate tomatoes out of the garden. And there were these big silver salt shakers that were like cups, only with lids with holes in them. And then at the other end of the street, there was an old guy who once in a while sat on his front porch with his old metal TV tray, reading his Bible. He had a normal size house and yard, where the other people had like almost a small pasture for being in the city. But they were both kind. One was more extroverted, and this guy was introverted. And he would just sit on his porch reading his Bible, and he'd smile and maybe give a little wave. And I talked to him, and he was just so nice. And he really was reading the Bible. He wasn't just sitting there with it, you know? I don't think we all have to get up and do something. I just think we need to experiment with who we are while we still have time. I mean, why not? To curl up like a little caterpillar and just die away peacefully, or, that might be okay. But if you have some more life to live, don't act like you don't, right? There was a very short time when I had 2 cars, and I had to give one up because I couldn't afford them both. I liked having 2 cars. Well, one was a truck, one was a car. One was an affordable car, and one was an affordable truck that was a gas hog. While I was trying to decide which one to get away, or which one to keep, my ex stole the truck. Motherfucker. And then he went to the bank. This was years ago when you could do stuff like this. Paid off the truck. And when he paid it off, because I got a really good deal on it, and I was just going to make payments on it for a year to build my credit. So he goes in there and pays it off. And when they hand it over, they write the title out in his name. Oh my God. I was so furious because I really wanted to keep that truck. Sometimes we have to let go of something or it's going to be taken away from us. I could have gotten rid of the car and paid off that truck, but I was slow on the move. I got stuck in what I was willing to give up or what I was willing to keep. And we do that with relationships too. Sometimes choosing between 2 relationships and then end up making the wrong choice or losing both of them. it's okay to lose. It's okay to not make a decision. Did I miss that truck for a long time? Yes. Was it a trigger point for me for a long time? Yes. Did I finally get over it? I think I have. It happened like 30 years ago, or maybe a little less. But the point is, it doesn't matter. I've lost lots of things. I've lost lots of people. But I'm still here. What am I going to do with it? And I think it's wonderful, for instance, Vanessa having this wonderful outlet as well, like I do. Just being able to vent with our videos. And, hey, handsome boy. Hi. You can come say hi? You can come say hi? You can come say hi? Can you say hi? Aww. Oh, my baby. Say hi to Aunt Chrissy. Chrissy, you were always so good to Lucky. You'd love Frankie too. Oops, I knocked the phone around. But very good, King. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and sometimes we can't tell, or we refuse to tell ourselves what's going on. I mean, I've gotten in relationships before where I knew in my gut, because my gut was screaming, don't do it, don't do it. And my brain even said, this is kind of stupid of you to do that. But there was a force inside me that had me go forward with the relationship anyway. It's almost like it didn't have to make sense. It didn't have to be mathematical. I had a lesson to learn, and that's how I was going to do it. It's weird. Auntie Christine loves you. He's sweet. Yeah, I slept in so late that I didn't even take him out for a run. I didn't even get me a cup of coffee yet. But I know, isn't he just a handsome little boy? It's too bad he's such a pain. He does the same. He does the same barking in the back of the yard all the time, but I finally figured out why. There's a groundhog that's got to be at least a foot long, because I can see it from the backyard, and it is full of hair, just big and fluffy. It's got to be this big around. I would say 9 inches around, and it's got to be 12 to 15 long, and then it has a tail, and it just taunts him, and he'll bark and bark and bark like he can't shut it off. Ugh. Oh yeah, the works in progress. I know. You know what? I wish somehow that could have that advice, King, could have been imprinted, tattooed on my forehead, but I did it over and over again. Probably because I had such low self-esteem when I was younger and even older. Easily swept off my feet if somebody proved that they loved me instead of looking at their track record. Taking seriously those little hiccups that happen. Those weren't little hiccups. Those were like bleeps on a weather radar program showing you exactly where the hurricane is. Yeah, I think that they're, and maybe it'll say something about it in here, and maybe in Robert Johnson's books. He's got several good books. Maybe it'll talk about it a little more, about how, there's this mind, body, soul. Mind, thinking, body, gut, soul. Mysterious push or pull. It's I think that's part of the adventure, part of the experiment is, excuse me, I gotta go take my allergy pill as soon as I get done with this conversation. I think it gets, it does, we'll know, our gut and our brain both, they know, and we feel this fight that says, yeah, but I love him. No, it's childhood trauma reaching out, and maybe it's some kind of past life soul mission, because it doesn't make any sense whatsoever for some of these relationships to have happened. I'm just saying. That's my take on it. I needed a little more eyebrow right there. Just for fun. This side's pretty good. I didn't do much with my eyebrows today. I used that brow mascara, which I love, since I'm just going to be hanging around the yard. I guess I better get going. I've been on here for 2 hours. Good grief. I better go do something. No, hour and a half. Guess I better go do something. Feed myself. Well, Vanessa, you don't have to be single for long. Come on. Whatever's good for you is good for me. But we're mere mortals. We're supposed to make mistakes, but learn from them. Yeah. Ah, well said, King. Again. Yeah. You too, Vanessa? Yeah. Go do some union with God. I think, too, I had something on the tip of my brain I wanted to say before I got off here. It's weird. It just jumped in my brain. And out. I think part of the journey, too, is learning to not beat ourselves up forever. You know, I mean, a couple minutes, a day or two to try to figure out the next plan. And then you can spend some time grieving, mourning, and then regenerating and moving on. Marianne Williamson, when she was in her career on fire back in the 90s, is when I found her. And I got all of her cassettes during that whole decade. Matter of fact, I think I still have a few cassettes somewhere. And she said something in one of her talks that said that somebody went through a horrible heartbreak. So they went home, they went to work, they did volunteer work, whatever. They led their life, but they did not get into a relationship, and they were not going to do it for a year. And then walked out of their front door and got hit by a cab. In other words, it was a joke. In other words, you can not date. Oh, I mixed the two stories. One was, yeah, you got hit by a cab because you tripped and fell in the street. Anyway, you know what I mean. So she's saying you can't hide away from everything and then say, I don't know who came up with that. I think it was something in recovery back in the 90s as well, or maybe 80s, where people said, oh, you have to give a year between any relationship. No, you just have to rebuild yourself, get some therapy if you can, figure out why in the world do you keep choosing these kind of people. Is it because they're easy? It's because they're cheap? Low, they're not expensive? The 3 R's: revive, replenish, rejuvenate. God, you take what it's taken me 20 minutes to say and put it in one little sentence. Well said. Mm-hmm. That's right. Thank you for your input, King. So I think it's important to continue experimenting with life and not hiding from it. I mean, you can say, I don't want to date, I don't want to date. But I wonder what kind of chemistry it takes to get your attention for you to finally decide, okay, I'll date. I'll bet it's not good. I know that when I'm broken, not really broken, but when I am on a hiatus from relationships, it's cheap words. I know I really want to be loved. I know I really want to be in a relationship. Um, so, in that, because of my self dishonesty, when I meet somebody, the vibration is really high and it's someone I should not be with. It's someone who's obviously going to hurt me. I just can't see it because we have this vibration. It's like, okay, here's another teacher. Oh my God. Um, so I say, if I were going, if something happened to this relationship, I would gently date as soon as I got on my feet. I wouldn't try to tell myself, no, I'm going a year without dating. Nope, I'm going 6 months without dating. Nope, I'm not going to do. I don't think I would try that route again. I think I would try the route of gently dating. It's getting out, socializing a little bit, building a social interaction, um, building friends. And if I was younger and had kids, I would go out of my way to try to build relationship with other parents who had children, because that's where I think meeting a family person is going to be there. And because I like psychotherapy, I would go to more conferences, more classes in person instead of on the line, on the line, on the internet, whatever. I hear you. There's a lot of us um, that that are single, and I can't think of anyone. That's an interesting statement. When he was 10, he tried to find you a boyfriend. Oh, good for you. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. King said, I'm single not necessarily by choice, but rather the choices. That's interesting. I'm gonna give that some thought if you don't explain it, because that's an interesting way to phrase that. So yeah, Marianne Williamson, if you just want some company, tap into some of her stuff. Tap into Marianne Williamson, her stuff from back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever it is. How darn it's afternoon. I do have to go, you guys. I love you, and I look forward to doing this again soon. Maybe if there's a better time, let me know when the choices are limited. Oh, I get it. Well, we need to talk some more about all this. If anyone has any messages that they want me to delete before this goes online or when it's online, let me know and I will delete them, because I want to keep confidentiality or anonymity, or just respect your privacy. And keep living in a way that expresses your spiritual journey. Good. I want to do it again too. Cheers from Tennessee. All right. Have a wonderful day, y'all. Bye for now.